I do teach people how to film with the equipment, how to do interviews, promo videos, all that stuff. And one of the things that they always complain about is they don't know how to do a blurred background. Like this or even more, right? They're always like, oh, my boss wants me to have this nice depth of field, it's called a bokeh, you know, like blurred background, simple as that. Because if you have busy background, if you're filming in the office, you're filming interviews, you want that blur, because if everything is just flat, it doesn't look professional, first of all, and secondly, there's so many distractions. However, this is not about your skills. Like, it is also about your skills, but you can have the best skills, the most skills, but if you don't have the right equipment, there's no way, it's physically impossible to create that effect. You can say, oh, you can do it on your phone. Yeah. Cinematic mode, portrait mode, whatever phone you're using. That's not the same, that's the digital blur. That's why it will never look as amazing as the blur from the actual lens. Here we go. If you have a camera that you cannot actually remove the lens and change it, the chances that you can actually blur the background are almost zero, so forget it. Also, it doesn't mean that you need expensive equipment to be able to blur the background, but you need the right equipment. I'm gonna explain it to you very simply, right? This is my job. If you have a lens, there is a number on it, f-stops, right? Like f, it's aperture. And the aperture is the amount of light that your lens is capable of actually getting through to your camera. It's impossible to blur the background, pretty much. If it's 4, it's kind of like, it's never gonna look great, and you have to, like, it's a bit more complicated. I wouldn't recommend to do it with this kind of lens. If there's anything below 4, 1.8 is gonna be super blurry. 1.2, insane. Maybe too much, because then background is so blurred, it kind of looks not only weird, but unnatural. This lens that you see, that's 35 millimeters, and it's 2.8 aperture. I like it because it doesn't blur it too much, but it blurs it just enough. So the lens I'm using is not super cheap, but you can also get it for 50 pounds. And of course, it's not going to be as good quality as mine, for example, but you can have blurred background and it's going to look really good. And just a couple of things that you have to keep in mind, even if you have the right equipment. You need to have the distance between the foreground, which is the person, and the background. Your camera has to understand what is the background and what is the foreground. So if you place the person, this is the wall, yeah? If you put them right in front of the wall because there's a logo, whatever, like you cannot edit after in the post-production. You put them in front of the wall, or there are like flowers or whatever. The distance is so small that your camera doesn't understand. It just looks flat to the camera. It doesn't understand what is the background, what is the foreground. You can have the best lens or the most expensive lens in the world, but it's not going to be able to blur that. Because for the blur, for depth of field, you need distance. If you watch all those Netflix documentaries, they film it in big rooms, sometimes like warehouses, because you can have like so much space around. Also, you need the space from the lights and the subject, and then the background, and then the crew. So like you have, and of course the camera and the person, you need space. Of course, we're not filming Netflix documentaries. So all you need is a little bit bigger room than a smaller room. The smaller rooms, I know that the sound tend to be better, of course, higher quality, but the visuals really matter. You want to create the distance between the person and the background. Otherwise, it's never gonna look great. I also have videos on my YouTube channel how to blur the background digitally, with using AI. It really doesn't look great. I mean, it looks okay, and maybe majority of people wouldn't know the difference. They wouldn't point out the difference, but they would see the difference. Because it's sometimes, when you have professionally edited video, it's like, oh yeah, I really like it. I don't know why, but it looks good. And then you have video that is not edited as great, like the pacing, the beat, like something is off. But you as amateur, you don't know what, but it just feels like, yeah, I don't know what's wrong with that video. Or maybe some of the shots are underexposed, it doesn't look as great, but you cannot actually name it, you cannot say, I don't like it because it's underexposed, or the pacing is off. Because you don't understand it, but you understand what feels good. And it's the same with using AI right now, because it may get better, of course. But the lens it's just going to look cinematic, like beautiful, incredible. And it's much simpler than you actually think, you know. And also don't forget that you need lights for that. Not too much light, because your aperture, the lower the number, the more light your lens can actually take. Filming outside, that's gonna be too much light. Then you have a different problem, okay? Let me know in the comments if you want the video on that as well, because that's the entire different story than filming inside. But we're talking about like the corporate interviews or any interviews inside in the offices or premises or whatever. Usually the point is that you don't have enough light. So I would just take always, even sometimes I don't need it if I film in front of the window, but I tend to take at least one LED light so I can get, just in case, that nice touch on the face and just usual lighting, you know, like the quality. Because the more light you have, the more blur you have, but also it's gonna look much sharper and really, it has this final touch on top of it. It's like cherry on top. Again, most of the people would just be like, don't know the difference, but they would feel like, oh, this video looks more professional. I don't know why, but it does. And these are the small differences. And once you have that light and you switch it on and then you record and then you switch it off and then you see the difference and you go, oh my God, how could I? Because if you don't have that light, you're filming and you're like, yeah, this looks good, you know. But if you have that light and then you compare it, you realize, oh my God, $40 I spent on this light improved my video by 80%, you know, like the difference is incredible. Unless you're actually in front of the huge window and you need a little bit less light than more light, let's say, okay? So in that case, no, you don't need to. But if you don't know where you film or you film in darker places, then you definitely need at least one light. If you found this video helpful, use the thanks button to say thank you. And I'll see you next time. If you want to improve your videos because you feel like they're not doing good, they could do better, but you don't know where's the problem, send them to me and I give you the expertise. I tell you exactly what's working, what's not working, why, what to do about it, strategy, content ideas for the future, equipment advice. This can be social media overall, this can be specific video, podcast, whatever audio video. If you want to know more about this, get it done in 24 hours, all right? I'm here for you. Check out the link in the description of this video.